And now, let's hear from Ambassador Barry White. Start us off.
Thank you. It's a little bit unusual to start with me when you're starting with a conference entitled Youth. I'm afraid to say. I really was young at one point. Prior to becoming the ambassador in November of 2009, I practiced law for 40 years in a law firm in Boston. And when I say 40 years, I tell everybody I did start when I was 10. I was very advanced as a young kid. But I spent a firm, and just for your information, Silicon Valley is not the only place where IT and startups and other happen. I'm from the Boston area. We have a little bit of that going on as well. So at least you got to remember that sometimes, that when you fly over to the West Coast, you can stop sometimes in Boston. We do a lot of technology work there. And one of the things that I did in the 40 years of practicing law was represent a lot of startups and new companies and middle market companies, whatever, and it's very, very, very exciting. Certainly on the technology side, I understand what you mean when you talk about your kids. I have the same issue. A computer for me, if I press a few buttons and it works, it's okay. If it doesn't, I call for help. One of my great experiences as ambassadors is I had just meeting with a lieutenant general from the United States just before I came here. I had a ride in the back seat of an F-16. And also I've had the chance of flying in the simulator on an F-35, the new planes that the U.S. is coming out with. And you get in there, and this is made, they put a 15-year-older in it, and he can do it perfectly. They take a look, they know exactly, they could fly this plane almost from scratch because it's really computerized to the extent that no other technology has been in an airplane. And I got totally lost. I crashed right in before I landed on the aircraft carrier. So there really is a major change in what's going on in our technology, and I know that you're all very interested and excited about it. And you've heard a lot, I think, today about how to take advantage of it, the idea to get into entrepreneurship, and I speak a lot about that and work with a lot of people here in Norway and try to talk about some of the impediments, I think, that both your tax law and legal structure impose in the way of people starting up businesses. But you heard a lot of the encouragement. I want to give you a couple of little things, tips and things that one can think about if you're especially in entrepreneurship and thinking about starting a business. First thing I try to tell people, if you're looking at it, look around you and see what needs to be changed and what needs to be fixed. You would be amazed at the number of companies that have started when somebody said, the way we communicate on this particular thing, or if I want to travel to the United States, there's nobody that tells me how to do this. Or there's nobody that tells me where where I can go backpacking in the United States, somewhere else. Simple ideas that people come up with that they turn into business. And as you look and think about your lives every day, what is it you'd like to see improved? Think of a way to do that. Then you can come up with the technology and how to work it. But it's really the basic kinds of things of get a concept, try to fix it, or people trying to fix the world, trying to do things in countries that are not as developed as some of the countries in Western Europe. What is it that will help? We did a lot of work in a law firm. We're part of a network it's called Lex Mundi, the law of the world. It's a pretty pretentious title, I'm afraid. But one of the things that we did was put together the 150 law firms and set up a pro bono program to help finance social entrepreneurs. And one of the things when you think about starting your own business, and I know it's hard and you've got to raise money and do other things, think about the structure that you're going to put in place. It is important that you have some legal structure to it. There are liability issues you need. There's intellectual property protection that you need. Also, it's not a bad idea to have an accountant. Now, so you can often get this help on a pro bono basis when you're starting up. So don't shy away from it. I had too many people that started businesses that ended up with problems because they hadn't thought of the appropriate structure, both fighting with their partners when things go well. Facebook is what was that movie? On Facebook, excuse me? Yeah, Social Network. I mean, if anybody, have you seen that movie? The legal battles that they had because somehow or other they didn't structure it appropriately. I mean, they should all be so lucky to have a legal battles with that much money that they all made. But thinking about structure ahead of time can be quite important. The other thing that I think you got to remember, entrepreneurship is not for everybody. It is very hard work. I mean, the social entrepreneurs and the regular entrepreneurs, if there's any real distinction, it's a 24-hour-a-day work. They work 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. As it was stated earlier, they don't have jobs. They have fun. But they work very, very hard at it, and you really have to be dedicated and committed to doing such a thing. And remember that when you start out. Everybody's not made to be an entrepreneur or to start a business. But if you are, it's great rewards, but lots and lots of hard work that you have to put into it. I don't know, there's lots of different things. You give me 5 minutes. There's lots of different things we can talk about. I'd love to have some questions or the time in the panel. I don't know if there's anything further. I'll give you one other little tidbit. You never know where and when your opportunities are going to become available to you. And I'll tell you how I got here. I spent 40 years at a law firm in Boston, as I said. In 2004, Senator John Kerry, now our Secretary of State, was nominated by the Democratic Party to become President of the United States. He subsequently lost in the election. But the convention was held in Boston, Massachusetts, my hometown. I went to the convention, worked with Senator Kerry, met a guy named Barack Obama the day after he gave his speech at the convention. I had about 30 seconds with him. We had both gone to Harvard Law School, we were on the Harvard Law Review, and so I said hello. Didn't think anything of it. 7 or 8 months later, after the convention, he got elected to the U.S. Senate in November of 2004. And then he became U.S. Senator. He was on a radio show, a public radio show called Wait, Don't Tell Me. They interviewed him, and he did fine. And at the end, they asked him 3 questions. One of the questions was about baseball and my Boston Red Sox, my favorite baseball team. You guys don't know about baseball, but in any event, so I sent him an email, and I had seen him for 30 seconds, and I said, "Dear Senator Obama, you were terrific on this performance in the radio, but you got the question about the Red Sox wrong. How come?" The next morning, I get a call from his staff saying we'll be in Boston in 3 weeks, and would you do a fundraiser for us? So we had him come to our house, then got to spend some time with him and get into the campaign, and here I am. But if I hadn't sent that email, I'd still be practicing law in Boston and wouldn't have this great opportunity. So, think about those things when you talk about networking and how you can succeed and whatever. You never know what happens. Look around, take advantage, meet with people, follow up on things.
Thank you.
This is your brief introduction.